be asking me anything because I am too tired to do a um, given topic today. I'll return to topics next week. I'm going to conclude this week with a Ask Me Anything format. It's Saturday anyway, so I don't see the point in, doing any specific topics unless it was like something really good. Uh, Having said that, um, we can, get into it. Um, Again, ask me anything. You can ask me whatever questions you want, as long as they're family friendly. Don't ask me anything to, you know, something you wouldn't want to say in a mixed crowd or around your own family. so, okay, have all messages on. So the chat filter is set. Um, so I always started out in good faith. There's no community moderation unless there needs to be. And then if the trolling starts, then I escalate the community moderation from anyone can respond to only subscribers, then finally to only approved users. It all depends on the level of, on the type of feedback in the chat room. So again, this is Ask Me Anything Saturday. So, feel free to ask me, random questions. Just make sure they're family friendly questions. And, please don't ask me something so complex that it would be like an hour long session on a psychologist chair. If you're going to do that, put it in a super chat. But other than that, yeah, just ask me anything Saturday. So feel free to ask me, whatever, as long as it's family friendly. Family friendly. Um, but yesterday I did a given topic, which I thought was fun, um, which I think would piss off a lot of people in the martial arts community if they saw it. Although it's not new, I didn't cover any new ground. It's just probably new to people who aren't well versed in the martial arts community and martial arts history. Whereas the topic was about the Shaolin Temple and Shaolin Kung Fu, basically saying they're not real. And I had to also give a tip of the hat to Michael Jai White, who said this like 10 years ago, and I completely disbelieved him and thought he was talking shit that he didn't even know about. And turns out he was completely right, and I was completely wrong. So I learned something, and I also learned uh, to not be so harsh in my judgment of folks just because I don't like certain aspects of them. Like I see him as this Hollywood actor slash bodybuilder who has martial arts expertise but isn't like a dyed in the wool martial artist, and that's just wrong because I'm prejudging him because he spends a lot of his time bodybuilding. But whatever. Anyway, he knew what he was talking about, and I was wrong. So who knows? He might have insights into other things of which I'm unaware. Um, but yeah, so that was a cool thing. Actually, that wasn't yesterday? I'm sorry, that wasn't yesterday. That was Thursday. Thursday. Friday, I didn't do a topic. Uh, yeah, Friday I didn't do a topic because I originally had it planned to do an interview with a friend. He was a returning guest on my show, Ty. But hopefully, excuse me, hopefully he'll be back Friday. So we'll see about that. um, and he definitely wants to cover some spicy topics. So I was like, I told him absolutely. I was like, go for whatever you want to talk about. So um, let me check something here. Um, shoot, why is this? Something wrong with my. Something wrong with my chat room here. I don't know, guys. If anyone sent something, apologize. Let me just. I'm playing around with stuff here. Just. Oh, okay. I do see a message now. Matthew Brookstein says pancakes or waffles. Um, I'm going to say waffles. The only reason I'm going to say waffles is not because pancakes aren't equally delicious. Waffles are just easy to fix because you pour it into into the little thing, the little waffle maker, and it's good to go. Especially I like Belgian waffles, the little Belgian waffle maker. So pour in a little Belgian waffle maker, flip it, good to go. Like pancakes is more intense, and it always seemed like it's more labor intensive because you got to make sure you do it right, or else the pancakes will be mashed together, or they'll have little irregular shapes. Although there are little things you can buy to like pour the batter into the little molds that you then stick onto the griddle with a frying pan to ensure that they don't stick to each other and that they're perfectly round. But that's just too much. Like, for all of that, I can just make waffles. Plus, I think because I used to be more because actually I think I used to be more into pancakes than waffles, especially because going to these little pancake places when I was little, like since we traveled all the time, like when I lived in Illinois, we would drive from Maryland to Illinois, which is a day drive, and usually we would hit something like IHOP or Denny's or something like that, and they use so it was always like pancakes for me, right? Um, so I always grew more attached to pancakes, but starting in college, I started liking waffles more because they used to have Belgian waffles on the late night menu in college, and the late night menu in the dining hall was so good. Like for the under for like the freshmen and sophomores on their side of campus, like the late night uh service at the dining hall was like going to the club. Like I know this is completely aside. You didn't ask all of this. I'm sorry, but like, uh, but this is at the University of Maryland, by the way. So on North Campus, which was mostly freshmen and sophomore, even though I wasn't a freshman and sophomore, I would go there because I had a lot of my friends on that side, and you know, people would go to the late night, and it was so many people hung out at the late night uh service at the dining hall. Like people were like getting like dressed up to hang out and stuff. People like, yo, where you going? You about because we live next to DC, so it wouldn't be unheard of to like during the weekend to be hitting the club. They're like, yo, where you going? They're like, you in the club, or is there a campus party going on? Like, no, I'm going to late night. Like, oh shit. All right. Meanwhile, meanwhile, the late night on South Campus, which is mostly the juniors and seniors and grad students, people were just flopping there in their late night to in like their pajamas or whatever, just looking frumpy because no one cared. Like you like school caught up with you by the junior senior year, or if you're a grad student, you definitely didn't care. So everybody just came in there looking frumpy because most people didn't hang out in the dining hall. during late night. If they did, it's because they were hanging out with their friends or their their dorm mates or whatever. They might hang out with their dorm mates, uh, or they might just not felt like bringing the food back with them to their dorm or their campus apartment. But usually they came in there looking frumpy, so it was completely different. But the Belgian waffles, no matter what part of campus you were on, were lit. Okay, Belgian waffles was on point, and I would usually get the Belgian waffles with like some party wings. They had like I think like two types of party wings. Like you had the little crispy, little spicy wings, or you had the buffalo wings. Man, so that was usually hitting for late night. Belgian waffle and some buffalo wings. But anyway, I'm sorry, Matthew, for that long, completely unheard of explanation. Oh, and just to add more to that long, lengthy explanation, I think when Teen Titans Go came on Cartoon Network, I started watching it because of my niece and nephew. They used to always watch it, so I ended up watching it because they were always watching it, and I was like, this show's actually funny. That's because I never watched Teen Titans before watching Teen Titans Go, or just like most fans of Teen Titans, I would have probably hated Teen Titans Go the same way I hated that Thundercats version. But anyway, they had a whole episode where they was like singing waffles, 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 waffles. And because Cyborg and Beast Boy were so special ed, they 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 decided to say nothing but the word waffles while they were fighting the bad guys. He was like waffles, waffles, waffles. So I don't know. So I'm high when it comes to TV. I am highly suggestible when it comes to food. Highly suggestible. And I thought that only affected me as a little kid, but apparently even as an adult, I can be highly suggestible to types of food uh on TV. Anyway, end of explanation. Uh, Versace Five says I sub your Instagram. Oh, okay, thank you. Summer Love. Sorry, you retracted. You just I, I saw what you said at first, but now I forgot. Um, I think you asked, am I a hip hop fan? I was. I There's nothing in hip hop today would that would make me like buy a DVD or download one rather. Some of the hip hop legends, they still put out videos on YouTube, which I don't even know why, because no one really watches the music videos like that. Well, that's not true. That's Some people will just turn on the music videos on YouTube and let it play while they're working or something like that. But music videos aren't where they were uh 25 years ago. So what are you gonna do? Um but um yeah, I can say I was a hip hop fan of hip hop in the past, not today. Like even when I listen to music, I mean, uh, I even the most recent hip hop I listen to is still from the 2010s. I can't think of anything from the 2020s. No, no, 2021, 2022, maybe. Yeah, but for the most part, most of the stuff that's come out today, I consider trash. Don't care about drill rap. Don't care about mumble rap. These people just can't rap. If it gotta be drill or mumble, you just can't rap. I don't care about Bad Bunny. a trans whatever. But yeah, not really a fan as much anymore. My friend who encourages me to do these live streams, he's still a large hip hop fan, but I just don't care about music. Just isn't that important to me anymore. Like that's something when I hit 30, I prided myself on not caring about it anymore. I was like, I'm not gonna. I was like, all right, now that I hit 30, I'm not gonna care about this stuff anymore. No, I won't even say 30. I'm gonna say, well, started at 30, but definitely by the time I hit 35, I was like, I've officially aged out of caring about hip hop. That's a young guy's music. Yeah, and no, it's not. And it's not even this is a young guy's music. It's just that I wasn't going to get into any more debates over who's the best rapper and why this is good or why this is bad, why hip hop is dead, why it still lives. I refuse to engage any of those conversations after I hit 35. I still have my opinions. The Biggie is the best. The hip hop today sucks and stuff like that. But I'm not willing to argue about it. I'll just say, yeah, you're right, and just keep it moving. So, yeah. But anyway, NFL 123 says, please, be gonna follow that up with an actual. NFL says only have 13 subscribers and I sub to you. Well, I can't sub to anyone while I'm in the midst of a live stream. So, and I'm very selective of to whom I subscribe. Has to be something like if I'm going to support someone whom I don't know, it has to be something. It has to be content with which I agree. So you're not going to get you're not going to do. I mean, you're not going to do well getting subs by just coming onto live streams begging people for subs. That's not what I did, nor anyone has done who has subscribers. If you want subscribers, you just gotta push out content. Just push out content. That's it. Push out content. Get your watch hours up. That's how it works. I like I didn't go into I didn't go into anyone's live stream begging for subs because I not that it was beneath me, but I knew it wouldn't be effective. Most streamers don't even pay attention to people unless they're dropping a super chat. So um, just push out content. I mean, whether you're doing shorts or long form videos, or or you know, or you're making live streams. Like I'll tell you now that YouTube has, I think, is switching away. For a while, they were pushing the short videos because they were trying to compete with TikTok and the IG Reels. But as I look at it lately, they're really preferring like the long form videos and live streams because they know that a lot of viewers would just turn that on and have it on in the background while they do other things. So um, I think the best way for you to get more subs is just to push out content, whether it's short form or long form or streams. Of course, you can't stream until you get a certain amount of subs and watch hours or whatever. But the easiest way to do that is just keep pushing out content. I don't know whether you do short form or long form videos. Keep pushing a lot of that stuff out, and you'll get the subs. I mean, it is 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 pretty much a statistical thing at this point. Like if you're doing shorts, you should be doing like you should be doing like several shorts every day. That's what you got. Like you got to be pushing up. You can't push out one short like every other day or every week. You should be pushing out shorts. Like that's the whole point of shorts is that you can push out a lot of that in a relatively quick amount of time. So you should be pushing out shorts every day, and that's gonna get eyeballs. So yeah, I'm giving out free info here. But yeah, just put if you're doing short form videos, you should be pushing those out every day. So do you know the NFL player Ricardo Allen? No, I don't. I don't watch professional sports. I don't. I don't have time. But yeah, but most guys are huge NFL fans. Well, at least in America. So that's not like something you should be getting. You could probably you could probably make that work. Like I'm pretty sure you can. There'll be a lot of people. There would be a lot of people who would appreciate info in the NFL. Like there, some people are hardcore fans and can't get enough of NFL. That's literally why you will have people watching, ESPN all day long, just all day long, even though there's no games going on, just to hear people talk endlessly on the previous games and on the players and on the plays that these athletes are making, all that sort of stuff. There's a huge chunk of the population they can't get enough of that stuff. On the other hand, I'm not that one of that crowd. I could care less. I have he said the guy's your brother-in-law. Yeah, I have a cousin who plays for the Buffalo Bills, but I to be honest, I never watched him other than when my mother pointed him out when she was watching the game. But otherwise, uh, I never watch it. And if I was I would give you money, but I don't have a credit card on my phone. Um, that's fair. But but like I said, that advice is free. Um, but like I said, I'm not really into sports stuff, so but I appreciate I appreciate the support. And like I said, I think with you making NFL content, as long as you're making it, like I said, if you're consistently doing it, like if you want the algorithm can work with you or against you. It'll work with you as long as you're putting out current, like consistent content. It will work against you if you haphazardly do so. It's not going to recommend you um in the platform when if you're not putting out consistent content because it's like, oh wait, does this person even exist? Like so if you're putting out daily shorts, you will grow pretty quickly. You'll probably grow way quicker than I did because you're actually putting out stuff that a lot of people are interested in. I talk about a lot of stuff that is very niche. So except when I'm talking about politics, then I get the most I get the most I get the most eyeballs on my content when I talk about things trending currently in the political world. So Versace's five says you are a sportsman. I don't know what you mean by a sportsman. Do you mean am I an athlete? If you mean am I an athlete, then yes. Boy, it's hot. Hope you have a good day. I have to go. All right, no problem. Well, much success to your channel. And like I said, just keep putting out content every day, and your channel will grow relatively quickly. Fasaki says you seem to be a smart one. Um, I mean, if people think I'm smart, I'll take that as a compliment. But I myself don't think I'm exceptionally bright. Um, I know I'm not the dumbest person, but I wouldn't say I'm bright just because I can carry a conversation. I will consider myself possibly smart when I reach success. Although I know that's not really a measure of um, intelligence either, because there's a lot of dim-witted people who are relatively well off. But that's it's just a personal thing for me. Like so. But yeah, I'll take the compliment, but I don't think I'm that smart. Um, and as I always say to folks, you should be worried about people who are very self convinced that they're smart because those are the ones who usually aren't. I find that the brightest people tend to be more hesitant about they tend to be more hesitant about the level of intelligence they have unless they've had it verified. Like if you're like a Sheldon Cooper who's taken the SAT and scored uh 160, or if you've taken a um one of the classical IQ tests, you might score even above 160. But in any case, unless you're like someone exemplary like a Sheldon Cooper or Terrence Tao, who's a real life person, this brilliant mathematician who scored like a 202 or something like that on the IQ test. But in any case, unless you're like one of these sort of folks, you um, should probably be um, more questioning of one's own intelligence, however you want to define it. Such as well, I'm just a gangster. Well, I don't know what that means, but there were some clever gangsters back in the day. Lucky Luciano, he, you know, he he was one of the founders of the American Mafia and formed the commission where he basically turned the mob into like he made the mob have its corporate structure that it bears to this day. Um, and you had these really intelligent Jewish gangsters that were part of the foundation of the American mob. Um, like what's his name? What's the guy name? Like Lang, uh, whatever his name is. He was brilliant. Like today, he would be someone who would definitely been on Wall Street. Can't remember his name, but anyway, there were at least back in the day, in, in the early the early 20th century, you had really intelligent, organized crime members. Now, today, not so much. Although at least nowadays they're smart enough to not be out on Front Street the way the way Gotti was back in the 80s. uh, Plus, I mean, you know, being smart will help you in pretty much any facet of life, whether it's whether it's an honest way of living or not. So, too often is the case there's people who make their living in, let's say, alternative ways, to put it nicely, uh, tend not to be very bright, which is why they usually eventually get caught, amongst other reasons. But like I said, being smart helps you in every facet of life, whether it's whether it's um, on the good side of the fence or not. I you're saying I'm normal. Forget about that. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about because you were saying gangster. Now you're saying you're normal. I don't. I'm guessing you're not American. You sound like you may be from overseas. So I don't know in what context you're saying it. You could just be saying gangster in a more. I'm get like I took it at first when you said I'm gangster that you were just saying it in a colloquial sense, like I'm cool or whatever. But then I thought maybe you might be meaning it literally, like you're in that life. I don't know. Either way, my point still stands that you know being smart helps you in every facet of life, more or less. Ukrainian. Uh, so, quick English lesson. So, when you are referring to yourself, put I am Ukrainian or I am normal or I am gangster. That will that will be more grammatically accurate because am is a form of the the verb uh the verb to be. So it would just be like saying is X or is Y or is Z without having the other variable. X is Y. I am Ukrainian, or he is Ukrainian, or she is Ukrainian, or they are Ukrainian. So anyhow, I should have been an English teacher overseas. That would have been dope. Being an English teacher in Japan. Not so much today, but basically like after I had finished college, that would have been a nice little thing to do for like 2 years. Like be an English tutor in Japan for like 2 years. Hopefully they put me somewhere cool, either in Tokyo or right outside of Tokyo. That would have been nice. Uh, he said, but am a gangster. That is why I like talking that way you dig. That's not how gangsters talk. Again, I don't know what gangster you think what type of gangster you're referring to, but if you watch any American mob movies, that's not how they talk. I'm from the East Coast. I know people from like I know people who were, but well, let me let me put it this way. I've known people who know people who were connected to the mob. And I've watched hella movies on the mob. That's not how they talk. I think you're thinking of some like 1930s movie with like Charles with Cagney or whatever the guys, those actors in the 1930s and 1940s. I'm gonna rub you out, see? I'm gonna rub you out, see? Yeah, see? But anyway, they don't talk like that. And anyway, yeah, you clearly never watched a mob movie. You need to watch. You need to do yourself a favor and watch Goodfellas. Please don't spam the chat NFL because my AI moderator will time you out if you spam the chat. I don't know why you're doing that. That's pretty kind of juvenile. Or if you're trying to be a, or if you're gangster, you're talking about black gangsters. Black gangsters don't talk like that either. So I don't know if you're trying to talk, if you're trying to be like an Italian mob type gangster, or you're talking about like gangsters and like someone running in a street gang. But either way, none of us talk like that over here. That sounds more like an Indian person who starts their sentences with "am." Not to be mean, but that sounds like an Indian person that would say something starting with "am." I bloody fuck you. I blood, I bloody motherfucker. Oh boy, but yeah. Oh my moderator was off. Let me make sure kick this back in. Ball Delicious is hello, nice to meet you. I'll sub to you. No, I will appreciate the sub. Yeah, some reason my Streamlabs was off. I was wondering why I didn't see it kicking in. It definitely should have kicked in by now, and it was not. It wasn't on. So, hmm. uh, there we go. All right, is it on again? All right, let me make sure. YouTube Studios. All right, guys, I'm just doing a little moderation, making sure my stuff is working here because I my Streamlabs wasn't kicking in. I'm like, oh, what's going on? Because the because all that spamming that my moderation should have kicked in as soon as that started happening. Hmm. All right, Streamlabs is working. All right, good. Mm-hmm. Hmm. All right. Like everything, look like it should be working now. I broke your heart, dude. You need to. Let me try to be nice. Um, you hold up. Trying. I'm struggling. Trying to be nice. Say this in a nice way. Uh, that's not. That's yeah. That's just not manly, bro. I'm sorry. Saying I broke your heart over some like I didn't even roast you. I was just telling you like whatever you. I know you're trying to be funny, or whatever, but it's just corny. It was just a little corny. So I hope you're joking because yeah. Mm, 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 mm. And again, if teach you, I don't teach for free. Sorry. This may be a ask me anything, but I'm not teaching for free. You can ask me questions for free. I'm not teaching for free. And I'm not even sure what I'm supposed to teach you. Am I supposed to teach you English grammar or American film, like stuff from American films? I'm not sure, like what you're even talking about. But uh, any sort of serious request that you have of me, you're gonna need to drop a cash app or something. My my cash app is in the description, as well as the super chat is on here. So you got super chat, you got cash app, or people can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com. Again, all of those things are linked in my description. But I'm not teaching anyone anything for free. That's no. As the Joker said, if you're good at something, never do it for free. So no. I mean, frankly, as a streamer, you'll be lucky that I even respond to these sorts of um, uh, things in the chat room because, like I said, most streamers don't eat, wouldn't even do so. So I used to live in England. Okay. So you used to live in England. You might be using a particular, you might be, so you might be speaking with a particular dialect of English that's not used here in America. America, we use SAE, which stands for Standard American English. Um, it is going to be different from some sort of regional dialect of the UK. The UK has a lot of regional dialects, most of which sound very foreign to the ear of an American. Like, for instance, like um, the TV show that has become popular here on Netflix, Peaky Blinders, most people have to watch it with the subtitles on, even though they're speaking English. There's even people in Britain that say they have to watch it with the with the with the subtitles on because they're speaking a very local dialect of English. if you speak normal English, then just speak it. Like, again, you're coming off as someone on the spectrum, because if you speak normal English, I don't get the jump around of talking like you speak broken English and then saying, teach me, teach you what? You didn't even specify. And now you can now speak standard English. Um, sound like you are just, sound like you think it's funny, which, and again, kind of makes me think you possibly could be on a spectrum, even though I don't believe in a spectrum, but whatever. Oh, my CloudBot wasn't active. Okay. That's all I had to do was activate the CloudBot. Now it should be working. Hmm. All right, I'm kind of done with the antics here. Anywho, what time is it? I don't think I'm about to go because this isn't very productive. I'm gonna just stay on here long enough to see my CloudBot activate. Let's see. Hmm. I don't know what you're talking about. Like you said, same name as here. What are you referring to? You're speaking in broken. You're speaking in broken phrases. Like I don't know what you're saying. Same name as here. What are you referring to? What is the same name? Like this is how I can tell I'm talking to someone foreign because you're not making any sense. Instagram. I don't check who follows me on Instagram unless it's someone I actually know in real life, or a celebrity. Like the only people I care who follow me on Instagram are either my actual friends or celebrities. That's about it. Like random people, I don't even check. Like I was trying to grow my Instagram to match my YouTube. Now I no longer care, just because I don't care about Meta, any platform with Meta. I just keep my Instagram because it keeps me connected with people. So so I'm not gonna be connecting with anyone on Instagram, on YouTube. I mean, if people want to send me questions or whatever, they can. But no. And if you have the ability to speak standard English, then you should just go ahead and do so instead of this colloquial way that you're talking, because it's weird and comes off as very disjointed. I would have more sympathy if you said you couldn't speak standard English, but now you're saying that you can. So that just makes so that made me lose patience for you because you saying you have the ability to speak standard English, then just go ahead and speak standard English. But switching back to that broken English like your Borat is annoying. So and because I know you now have the ability to speak normal English, standard grammatical English. You're not Borat. Anywho, what time is it? Yeah, I'm gonna call it. I'm out, guys. If anyone got it, like I expected this Ask Me Anything to go a little different, but these things can always go different ways. There's no such thing as thug style English, Versace. Again, you sound a little off. So with that, it's time to end this because yeah, no one's that's not how that's literally not how anyone speaks in America. Literally no one. Black gangsters don't talk like that. Italian mobsters don't talk like that. Spanish gangs don't talk like that. The West Indian gangs don't talk like that. No one in America talks like that. Like no one talks like that. That's not thug style English. You don't know anything about American culture. Stick with the Ukraine or Britain. Stick with Europe. Stick with Europe. Don't try to imitate America because you're doing an awful job. You don't sound like a thug. You sound like an Indian who drives a taxi.